Welcome back to the backyard, episode 14. Not really a whole bunch going on. We're gonna have a bunch of general conversations today about some topics that have kind of been coming up in sports media over the past week. Yeah, we'll just start off kind of going over the Philly recap. Don't really know what's going on with the Flyers. Sixers had a good week. They lost last night, but Joel was out, and I actually kind of like uh they played hard, I thought. So,
They
you know,
played as best as they could without their best
yeah.
player.
They were right in the game at the end. They had or it ended up being like a 16-point loss, but it was closer than that. I think it was like one of those games where it never felt like Boston wasn't going to win, but like, Maxey makes the three when they were down six. It's like, oh, it's a 3-point game with 3 minutes left. So, but yeah, but I mean, a couple convincing wins, nice win over the Heat. And then Joel goes out. He'll be out 3 games. The average time missed for the injury that he has is like 4. But with him, we know it could be more. So we'll
Mhm.
see. They got to get him back for this stretch run. Coming down towards the playoffs, Flyers, just more of the same. Mitchkov drama. Um, they beat Boston. They beat New York.
Couturier's
That's
first
that's
goal in for 32 games or something like that on an
that's
empty
good
net, but it
when
doesn't
you
really
can beat
matter.
rival teams, but I think it's
Mhm.
going to be hard for them to make the playoffs, which is unfortunate, but like, it's just kind of uh
They've got a 6% chance or something like that,
yeah,
or
it's
six and a half
low.
percent chance of making the playoffs. But again, they're on the track of if they continue to win games, they're on the track of getting inside a not top 10 pick, but a top
Right.
20 pick. And they're not going to make the playoffs. And they're going to go against every single draft specialist that says to make this pick, and they're going to do the opposite. And it's gonna be the same thing over and over
It's a
again.
cycle.
Yeah.
Phillies, they're in spring training. I don't really have much to say about the play on the field, but Johan Rojas pops for a substance. I mean, it's
Which
the third player,
they aren't sure if it's weed though, because if it's weed, I know you can't play in the World Baseball Classic
but you're
and the
fine for the
MLB,
MLB.
but you're fine for the MLB. They don't know what it is though. But I'm here. I mean, Alex Cole was I know another person who
Who
shout out
broke
Alex
it,
who
yeah.
was on the pod. Him and Wilbur Sanchez. Wilmer Sanchez was the other guy who broke the news. So
Yeah,
props to
it's
that.
just, I mean, if it is something that's not marijuana, that would be the third Philly from last season who's now popped for,
Yeah, yeah.
so
It doesn't even make
just
a difference.
just the Phillies,
Yep.
is what it is. But we're gonna open today our conversation. This has kind of been the big topic as we've gotten to the end of the year, and people start talking about awards in the NBA. So you have All NBA, you've obviously MVP, six man, all that stuff. But so the current games limit is 65 games. There's a bunch of guys, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, who are kind of
Wemby.
approaching, yeah, Wemby, who are approaching that games limit of like becoming ineligible. So I want to ask you, kind of, first of all, what are your thoughts on kind of where that stands? And then also, is there like is there a way to fix it? Is the way to fix it you just get rid of the games limit and you leave it up to the voters to just say like, hey, if you value games played, go ahead. If you don't value games played and you think that a guy that played 48 games but his team had all the best metrics when he was playing, do you just leave it up to the voters? What are your thoughts?
So it seems like the public opinion, and I'll get to mine first. The public opinion is get rid of the 65 game rule and let the media people who vote on these awards use their own judgment,
Right.
which I personally think is wrong. I don't think a guy, even if he's dropping 34, 8, and 12, I don't think that a guy who plays 35, 40 games, or 56 games in a season should be eligible to win any awards. The season is 82 games in a season. No one's asking any of these guys to play all 82 games. It's not likely, especially with the bodies and the schedules and the back-to-backs. Um, no one's asking for that. I think 65 games, though, is reasonable to play that much, especially with the contracts and the money that these guys are making. I personally believe that the only solution is to shorten the season, um, whether it be to 72 games and force guys to play 60 games or make the season 62 games. or 64 games.
Nah,
That way you
62
don't,
games. 62 games is too little.
but you are eliminating back to backs. You know, you're giving enough time between days, between games to rest your star players and your guys coming off the bench.
I
Nobody
don't have an
also
issue.
wants to watch like 82 games in a season.
I mean,
It's
I,
too long.
I
You
don't have an
do.
issue watching
You don't
that,
have a
but
problem with it. I don't personally have a major issue with it, but the fans
I,
as a whole, and it it's undeniable. The product has gotten worse. The way these guys play has gotten worse. There's a lack of defense. It seems like the regular season doesn't matter to these guys until the very end. So I don't know. I don't think it's a good look for the NBA for guys like Jokic, Wemby, and SGA to be a few games away from not even being eligible. Who do you give the MVP to at that point? Cade Cunningham? I mean, I don't think that would be a bad thing at all,
Cade
but
wins. Yeah, if Cade wins. If
you
Jalen
know,
Brown won, like I
it'd
wouldn't
be
have issues
fine.
with that.
It would be, and they were
But
front runners from the beginning too.
I, I think, I think you are right. The way to do it is just you leave it up to the voters and let them pick. I think you do need a games limit on there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I wouldn't. I don't have an issue shortening the season, but I wouldn't do it by like because you look at the college model of okay, well teams are going to play 2 games a week. Like that's not
that's
enough
not enough either.
that's not enough. So
Yeah, but
you're not
there's
going to
what,
shorten
30
it.
games in a
If
season, right?
if
Or
you're
40?
saying shortening it down to 62 games and eliminating back-to-backs, well now what? Are you going to have everybody play? Like you're going to have weeks where teams are only playing 3 times in a week. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever it may be. So, I think that I think you could shorten the season and then you could shorten the games limit, but I would only do it by like cut back to backs. Like the Sixers play 16 back to backs this year. So hypothetically speaking, the games limit is 65 games. For some of these guys, like the back to backs, cross country travel, getting on a plane and then getting right on a plane and then playing the next night, it's just not sustainable. It's probably not the best on their body. For Joel Embiid to have taken up the model of I'm only going to play in back to backs, right? So say he was perfectly healthy this year. If he just said, I'm not going to play in back to backs, he would have missed the games limit anyway.
Well, yeah. But
So, so,
when it's this many players though, who are
but, but
single
I,
digit games away from not winning MVP, not winning or eligible or anything,
no, but
it's
that's
not a good
different because
look.
those guys got injured. I'm just saying, strictly if you were healthy, but you said, I'm going to sit out the second half of back to backs. I'm just going to play because it's not, I'm risking a long term injury. So I'm just going to sit out. So out of if you were in 16 back-to-backs, that's 32 of your games. You only play the front half. So you're losing 16 games, but you play every other game. You wouldn't make the 65 game requirement, which I think is ridiculous. So so I would just say cut the season down to like 75 games. Every team in the league plays 7 back-to-backs. And then you can choose now to be like, okay, I'm gonna not put myself at risk because back to backs are a bigger risk to get injured. I mean, it's just like you sit on an airplane for 2 hours at 2 in the morning, you get in late, you don't sleep. It's tough. So I would say I would shorten the season, but I wouldn't do it by I wouldn't do it by more than I think 10 games is pushing it, but I wouldn't touch more than that.
Yeah, but the NBA also, I think the season starts too early. I think them competing with the NFL and what they start beginning of November or something like that, end of October. I mean, they're starting in the middle of the NFL season. I think with ratings, it's terrible. I think they
Yeah,
should
but
start in December.
because it's a sport with the college, you kind of have to sync up with their schedule to get guys into the league
Yeah,
and then
but
have the
you
opportunity for
could
them to play
still,
a summer league model.
yeah, but I think you could still start, I guess, beginning of December and shorten the games down to 65 games or something like that. Oh, DA just texted me.
65 games?
I don't think that I think 75 games is too much. Like,
But how is first of all, they would lose a ton of money. So first of all,
They're not making as much money
in
as
a
the other
proposed
leagues
world,
anyways. They're not
in a
making as
pro-
much money as the other leagues anyways.
in a proposed world of this, you shorten the season by 17 games. So now you're saying you would cut out back-to-backs completely. That's what you're saying. You would cut out
Completely,
back-to-backs completely. I think
completely because you have more of a chance of guys playing an entire season.
I think you need back-to-backs in an NBA model. It's why hockey does it too. Hockey is you need back-to-backs. The only sport that
But hockey
shit,
doesn't have guys sitting besides the goalies.
if football wasn't as physical, I mean, like even football has started adding,
I don't
like
think that's a good idea either.
now towards the end of the year, you play on a shorter scale. Like shit, you'll play Sunday and then play Wednesday, or whatever it is. They're trying to cram in games, and I mean, for what they get paid, I mean, I don't have a problem with them playing back to backs. I would put the season at 75 games. You put you put the games total at you have to play at least what? Take half the season, raise it by 5 to 10 games, and that's the games limit you could play to be eligible. You have to put a limit on it because then you'll get somebody be like, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for LeBron because the Lakers were 20-5 when he played in his 25 games." So you have to put a games limit on somewhere.
So what would you put the games limit at?
Well, if my season was 75 games, I would say you have to play at least half the season plus I would say you could miss if you miss 20 to 25 games, anything more than somewhere between 20 to 25 games, you'd be out.
I think with the amount of money that these guys are playing though, or the amount of money that these guys are being paid, I think only playing half the season is that's not enough games.
No, but again, to voter discretion, if you're leaving it to voter discretion, right? If you were going to say, okay, I'm going to reach the games limit, but I'm going to sit games out. I'm going to sit games out because I'll be over the limit. The limit is so low, I'll be over the limit. A voter should, then you have to reevaluate who you have voting and say, okay, if you're going to vote for a guy who sat out 15 games just because they needed to rest, it's different than, okay, I'm going to vote for this guy who played 10 games over the limit. So he didn't play a lot of games, but he got a month-long injury. He was actually injured for a month. He couldn't play. So then you differentiate between the I'm resting, like the LeBrons and the sometimes Kawhis, like that of like injury management, load management, versus actual injuries that hold guys out. You need to create that kind of that differentiator because if not, you get what you have now, where it's like, well, shit, I'm healthy, so I'll just sit out. I'll just sit out games because I'm going to be over 65. But now you're taking away from Shea and Jokic, who are like, they're gonna fucking probably miss it because they were actually out for 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, this is Jokic's actual. You said it on the radio when you called in my show, by the way, 3 to 5 p.m. on Thursdays,
Yep.
91.7 WCUR. You can tune in
Yep.
on the website. But you made a good point. This is Jokic's first time being hurt in what, like two
Basically his whole
years?
career. Yeah.
Yeah, missing a substantial amount of games, which was, I think was like 3 weeks or something like that. And,
I
missing
think
like
probably the longest he's
12
been out
games,
other
15
than this
games.
was remember the whole Markieff Morris thing when he like
Yeah, when
I
he
think
the
that's probably
suspension. Yeah.
that's probably the longest he's been out other than this.
I just think that the NBA is going to start to run into a problem where these guys are not going to really, I don't want to say not care about awards in the NBA. I just don't think they're going to mean as much to the players. Like, I think that there should be a game limit rule for different awards. Like, sixth man of the year, I think, should not be 65 games. I think MVP should be more than, you know, like sixth man of the year or most improved player or defensive player of
I
the
mean,
year.
I just think for those other
There should be a
awards,
game limit for each award. I'm not saying all these awards should be 65 games because I think that's a little bit ridiculous too.
I think for all the other awards, it is kind of a thing of like you have to be on the court and do it. Because when you think about the other awards, like, there were a couple years where I was like, Matisse Thybulle could really be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. But it was like, and I think one year maybe he was a final, like whatever it may be. But all the other awards are kind of a matter of like you have to be playing enough and playing substantially. They don't ever really give those awards to guys who kind of are sitting out. So I don't know. They probably have. I would give them the same parameters, but I think like six man of the year. They're not going to give six man of the year to a guy who only plays 40 games because then are you truly a six man? Like you come back off injury, now you're
I'm
probably the
not saying
seventh,
it should
eighth
be
man.
40. I don't think it should be a 15 game difference, but like
I don't think they. I
55.
but I just don't feel like they ever give the award. Like the voters ever give the award to a guy that misses a lot of games.
I mean, no, no, you're right
I feel
about that. I
like
mean, how many games did Embiid miss the year he won MVP?
uh, I think he just got over. I think he was at 69 games, maybe.
Yeah,
Actually, well, I don't know.
because
He
Jokic didn't miss that, man. I don't think Jokic really missed any at all that year.
he played 66 games or 68 games. 66 games.
So what? He was one game away or 2 games away
Well, I
from
think
not
they
being
put the
eligible.
rule. I think they put
I
the
don't know when
rule
the
into
rule came in
effect maybe the
place,
year after. Yeah.
but I
Either
don't
way,
know.
again,
I'm not saying I would put it up to the voters if a guy misses more than 65 games, or if a guy plays less than 65 games. I'm just saying that's what a majority of these articles are saying.
yeah, and I think
Like
that's
I'm
I
looking at
think
the score right now, and I don't think it's a bad idea. But with the money, these back to the money thing, with the amount of money these guys are making, there's no reason that a guy can't play 65 games unless they suffer a serious injury.
well, that's what the argument is that like these guys get injured and now you kind of have to sit games because
But
you
you
need to
can
be healthy
limit
for the
that.
playoffs.
You can limit that by shortening the season.
Yeah, I think you're
I think you
I
can.
think 20 games is too many.
I, I mean, what difference does it make? I made the Bill Simmons point last week. What difference does it make if a guy makes 70 million instead of 75 million? Like,
But you're
it's
shortening the game. You're shortening the season to 20 games. What's your contingency plan of everything else? Like you would start the season later and end it at the same point.
yeah, yeah.
How late are you
I,
starting it? You would start it in the middle of
I
December.
would no, I would start it at the beginning of December.
That
I
doesn't
wouldn't
get you to
start it
20
that late.
games.
No, think of it like this. You're not playing back to backs. I don't think you necessarily need back to backs in the NBA.
So, but only missing 1 month of basketball isn't going to eliminate 20 games.
Well, how many games are in a month?
You play like 10 to 15.
Okay, so then you shorten the amount of
No, you
games that a guy needs
play.
to play in a season.
Who's played like Tyrese Maxey's played every game.
I don't think that the NBA needs to compete with the NFL. They're outmanned in that. And I think it would time up fine with, the amount of time you have in the summer for these guys to play in the summer league. It still lines up with the college schedule. You end the season in what, like June, middle of June?
What, college?
No, the NBA season. It ends in the middle of June.
Yeah, now it does.
So then that's still 15 other teams, 17, 16 other teams that aren't playing.
Also, if they wanted to get rid of a week, they could just fucking get rid of the play-in.
Yeah, I don't think they need to play in either. I thought that was the dumbest thing ever.
But this leads into our next conversation because the play-in does relate to tanking because you add, teams trying to compete relatively. You add two other teams who are playing to get into the playoffs. What is your thoughts on the issue of tanking and the matter of um I've seen a lot of good ideas that people have had. The best one that I saw was that once you are eliminated from the playoff contention, you start to accumulate points for um your draft position. So once you are eliminated, you would then start to want to win games basically because every win you get is points towards your draft position. And then the team with the most points accumulated at the end would get the number one pick, and then, so on and so forth until you fill out kind of your lottery. Um, and then you'd have the play-in teams behind it, the playoff teams behind that, which I think is a good idea because it incentivizes teams to not want to just continue to lose all the time. And instead, they have to continue to play because you're playing for your future, basically.
I think I don't know. I mean, I've seen the other idea where they want to just throw a tournament at it. where the worst teams in the league battle in the tournament for what, the top 10 picks in the draft. I don't think that's a good idea because why would a
Yeah.
guy who let's say is the starting power forward on an NBA team, why should he have to compete for a first round draft choice? Let's say a power that is a power forward. Why would he want to compete for someone to take his job? I don't think that's a good idea
But
either.
I
But
think that
tanking will forever be a part of the NBA. I don't think there's a clear solution. I think it's so bad because this year it's the worst it's been. And the only reason it's even getting any attention is because all the betting companies are in Adam Silver's ear and they're like, "Hey, you've got like 8 teams that are sitting their starters in the start of the fourth quarter, no matter what the point differential is." So I don't think anything would have been done regardless if it wasn't for these betting companies talking to Adam Silver about this.
but I'm saying it's a matter of the way that it is now is teams are able to say, okay, we're going to be bad this year, but let's be so bad that give ourselves the best odds of getting the number one pick. So they're basically going into the game number one. They give it a week. If they're at the end of the week they suck, they're like, okay, we're bad. We'll be bad all year. We'll sit our guys. You're not going to play this night. You're not going to play this night. And they build out a schedule of like, okay, we're going to lose these games and we'll get a good pick. The issue with that is that I hate the lottery, and I always have hated the lottery. It shouldn't just be up to fate because crazy things happen, and we've seen it in the past where like a team that wasn't really that bad ends up getting the number one pick, and now they're right back, like in a contending spot. I think the way that it should be, and the reason that I like the model of once you're eliminated, you start playing for points, and you have to earn your draft position because then you can't sit your players, and it's not playing for your replacement. It's just listen, if you're one of the better players, teams will figure out a way for you to play. If you're a G leaguer that's playing and they're going to draft over you, shit, they should be drafting over you. You're not good enough, so they're going to pick somebody above you. But the fact of the matter is, the NBA has a problem of there are too many games that come onto the schedule that are like, both these teams want to lose. Why would I watch? And then one team gets like Indiana coming into this year. It's been a problem for Indiana. They sit the guys that are healthy just like
Yeah.
for just because they're like we need to be bad. And then next year because they're tanking, they're going to be right back in a good spot because they'll get Halliburton back and it I don't know. I think they do have an issue there of tanking. I think they can I think that there are ways to solve it. I just think the lottery is just a brutal system of like, oh, we'll just leave it up to the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
And then the bad teams stay bad because if you're never lucky, you're just bad. Let a bad team who's truly bad give themselves an opportunity to be high. Don't leave it up to to ping pong balls. Stupid.
Yeah. Well, another problem is they're smacking fines on these teams, which the fines are not nearly enough because these teams will make that money back in
Yeah, I think one team
a
got like
week.
I think the Pacers got 100K. Was what it was?
They make that back in what? 2 games? Three
Maybe
games?
not this
It's
year, maybe a little more, but
but I mean it's literally nothing. It's a slap on the wrist for most of these organizations. We've seen it firsthand with the tanking. You're able to build teams up from the ground. Um, I mean, our star player Joel is named the Process. That's his middle name. Now it hasn't fulfilled itself yet, and we'll see. But I don't know. I don't think that there's a clear solution. I think tanking is going to be around forever. It's just like you said, it shouldn't be up to the luck of the draw for some teams who are
yeah,
actually legitimately fucking bad to not even get a pick inside the top 5
give
because
the
of some fucking
reason
ping pong balls.
let the reason that you're bad be you drafted somebody that sucked, not
Yeah.
you didn't get the chance to draft somebody who's good because ping pong balls told you you're going to get the eighth pick even though you finished with the worst record.
Yeah, like
Let it be
The Brooklyn Nets might not even get a top 3 pick.
right. Let it be that you got eliminated. You accumulated the second most draft points. You get a good player, and if they pan out, they pan out. If not, that's you made a bad pick, but you were in the right position for where you should have been. Not you just got unlucky on this day with odds, and so it happened. But those are kind of the two things. I do agree that the NBA is a flawed league. Another conversation that we can have is like, um, you know, we because we said it on the call that Adam Silver's just not a particularly good commissioner.
He's the worst. He's the worst
And
of the four.
I believe that David Stern was like a good commissioner, but he's kind of just a bad dude. He did some sketchy stuff, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, so
I
does
mean,
every commissioner, though. But the decisions that Adam Silver has made since 2020, I mean, the bubble idea was phenomenal.
yeah, the bubble
But
idea was well executed.
that's the last thing I can remember him doing that everybody was virtually of the
Well, you don't
agreement
make
that
like a
this
lot
was a
of.
great decision.
Well, I think like his at least willingness to make changes to the All-Star game is something that I can appreciate. I think it is something that he's going at an unsolvable issue, but at least he's trying to find something that fans could get more engaged with. Like if it doesn't work, he's not just like, okay, we're gonna do this for 3 years and see. He just changed it the year prior. It didn't work. They changed it the next year. So I can appreciate that from a sense. But like looking at it like the biggest commissioner moment that we see probably is at the NFL draft. I mean, Roger Goodell gets the shit boot out of him. But it's
Yeah.
like I don't know anything about the hockey. I don't know about the
Well,
commissioner of hockey.
listen, I mean, with the
Like, is Goodell
hockey,
the best commissioner by default? I
yeah,
mean, Manfred sucks.
by default, yeah. I mean, they all have their issues. Manfred has had his issues, major issues after the Astros scandal. I
And they're
forget the
about
hockey
to,
commissioner's name.
they're about to
Yeah, they're
go
about to
into a
go into
lockout.
lockout. Yeah,
So
which I mean, every commissioner's got something wrong.
it's a hard
Goodell,
job. It's not
it's a
an
hard
easy
job.
job.
Goodell doesn't hand out even punishments to anybody. He gets the shit boot out of him at the draft. The NHL's commissioner wants to add more teams in the South, which nobody wants. People want more teams in the North and in places like the Northwest, which is predominantly, a lot of hockey players come from there.
They
So
I think the
with
Four
Adams,
Nations idea was good.
I
So
thought it was phenomenal. With Adam Silver though, it's bad decision after bad decision, it seems like. And when the whole betting stuff came out, where the only reason he was looking at the tanking was because these betting companies are looking at him like, yo, what the fuck? I mean, our consumers are pissed. These guys aren't playing in the fourth quarter. We obviously want to make money from bets losing, but people are going to stop using our sites if these guys aren't playing. People were angry because that's the only reason that the tanking was even looked at. Nothing would have been done about
yeah,
it.
I mean, we're not going to
You
get into
know,
the betting thing today, but we have another episode. If you go back, I don't know what number it was, but we had a whole conversation about kind of this. It's unfortunate, and it's kind of consumed our sports world.
it's going to destroy sports
Yeah,
for the foreseeable future. It's not
I
going to
mean,
get better.
I was talking about sports betting in my marketing management class the other day about just like we were talking about poly markets and Kalshi and
Well, those are, and
prediction
again,
markets.
they're labeled as prediction markets where it's not illegal because they're labeled as prediction markets. It's not sports betting apps. So
Yeah,
I don't
it's a
know.
disaster.
I I just don't think that he is. I don't want to say not qualified to be the commissioner anymore, but there's been a series of decisions that he's made that have really put into question if this guy should still maintain his
Yeah,
job,
and we'll
and
see
I
how
don't
he
think he
handles the
should.
Kawhi
And I
thing.
don't know. I
We'll see how
Oh
he handles
yeah.
the Kawhi thing.
I mean the
That
whole
kind of
what's
has
it called?
gotten pushed.
The Steve Ballmer thing got swept under the rug.
Well, yeah, that's the whole
Yeah,
Steve Ballmer
yeah.
Kawhi thing. Yeah. So we'll see. That's kind of the next domino to fall, I think, in terms of what he has to handle.
I don't think we're going to
Um,
see anything out of it.
Moving on, the World Baseball Classic starts at the end of the week. Team USA is I think they're the favorite. I know they're the favorite, but I'm sure that their odds have gone down because Scooble's only going to pitch one game. I'm sure some of these other arms that they've kind of collected are going to not pitch a whole lot.
Yeah,
You're not
I
going
mean,
to
Scooball
tax
said he's
yourself.
done after one game. He's going back to Detroit.
Yeah. Um, they do have a good lineup, but I think it bears the question of, and we see it with all these kind of national events, these where you play for your country in all sports. It really does come down to, and a good example is, I think the USA basketball team at the Summer Olympics had to find it of like, okay, you're the best team, but does it really mean the most to, like the team that wins to me in these events is the team that it means most that they're wearing their country on their chest. So my question is, do you think the USA will win this event? And if your answer is no, do you think part of it is going to be that it just means a little bit more to some of these other guys that they get to represent their country in this way?
I think, a team like Japan, it means a lot to.
Hmm.
A team like the Dominican Republic, it means a lot to. I
Because
think Team USA, it means a lot. I
the
think it
game has
equally
grown
means
in all these countries. Like for these guys in these countries, they are the ones that grew the game. Like in the US, I
yeah.
mean, baseball's dated back, like we said before, whether you care or not that it's America's pastime.
Hmm.
It's been around here for forever. Some of these guys are like they're the reason that people care about this sport. Like their countries are going to be into them winning. It would mean a lot for them to win. In the US, it's just kind of like, eh, we should win. We feel like we should win, so you know.
Well, I think regardless of even if we feel like we should win or if we feel like we're the underdogs, you saw it with the hockey team. We cared for about 3 days and then we were over it.
Yeah.
We
I
were,
mean,
I kind of, I mean, it was sick. It was great.
well,
But I was
SNL
like,
had the
oh,
whole SNL did the whole thing the other. People have cared more about the politics of it
yeah,
than
then the
actually
actual
winning.
game
Yeah,
itself.
and we're
Yeah.
not going to get
So
into that. I just don't care really.
I think it's the same thing with Team USA winning. I think everybody in this country is going in expecting us to win, even though we lost 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think people
The
think
team is
that
much
having a
better.
better rotation is going to get it done. But I just think there are other teams that are good. I don't think this is a um, and it really hasn't been a cakewalk. Like Japan, I don't know what the history of teams winning is, but I know like Puerto Rico is usually pretty good. The Dominican Republic is usually pretty good. Venezuela is usually pretty good. Mexico is like solid.
Decent. Yeah.
But baseball is like I don't know, I don't follow college baseball, but I know people that follow college baseball and I see like Instagram stories. Baseball is like an upset sport. Like any given day. Like I mean, the White Sox suck, but they beat somebody. Sometimes they win. They beat good team. Like baseball is
Yeah.
not a sport where just because you're better, you're gonna win every day. So I hope the U.S. does win because there's a good amount of Phillies that are representing the team. Um, I want the U.S. to win, but I'm definitely intrigued by you know it's a fun event. It's competitive. There's
It's great
more
to
teams.
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's great to watch.
it's more like um, I think with the Olympics in hockey and the Olympics in basketball, you have your big teams, but then the other teams are like, you know, they might have an NBA guy, but they're going to lose. They're not going to win. Like, Australia might have Patty Mills, but they're going to lose by 40 to the US. That's what's going to
Yeah.
happen. But you have
Yeah.
like France, Germany, Serbia. They're going to be good, but it's going to come down to those teams. In hockey, it's like US, Canada, Finland, Sweden, Russia.
Yeah.
Well, Russia's not in it,
I know
um,
what you mean.
but in this, it's like even Israel upset somebody. I remember in one game they didn't do well, but they beat somebody who was good. Like
Mm.
it just happens. It's an event where you're not going to see a Cinderella pop up, but maybe one team makes somebody else have a worse seed in the actual bracket, and then they lose. So I am intrigued. I don't know how much I'll watch, but
I mean, if it's on, I'll
I'm
watch,
intrigued.
you know?
Yeah, again, background. I'll probably be
Yeah,
doing
it's a
schoolwork or
background sport.
something.
I remember almost every World Baseball Classic game. I don't think I was home actually. I think I was at a restaurant whenever every single game was played. Were you with me when we were at PJ's and it was on?
No, I was in the hospital last time.
So yeah, I mean, every game that's been on, I don't think I've watched at home. It's just been on and it happened to be
Yeah,
in the
it's just
background. But I would like to see Team USA win. This is like one of the most stacked Team USA lineups. You have Goldschmidt, Harper, Judge pitching. You've got
Schwarber,
Tarek Skubal, Schwarber as your DH.
Scenes.
It's the best lineup they've had. But like you said, baseball is one of those sports where an upset can happen any day.
Yeah, and there's
You'll see
more
cool
good teams.
moments. Yeah,
You,
you'll see sick moments where it's Trout versus Otani again. That'll be cool. But if we lose, am I going to care? No,
if we
like
lose, I'm
not
just gonna be
really.
like, listen. If we lose, I'll be because our one friend's pretty jacked up because Judge is like the captain of the team. You know, he wanted to buy a $250 jersey. I told him you're an idiot. Um, but yeah, like if we'll lose, I'll torment him and be like, you know, is Judge a choker? Can Judge get
Yeah,
it done? But
yeah.
like, I don't really
I feel like
care. I don't
Judge.
care
I feel
that
like
much.
Judge is the McDavid of the MLB. Just can't catch a
Maybe,
break.
maybe, yeah.
Or he's
It's
turning into.
harder. I mean,
I mean,
no, it's
baseball. It's
kind of the
way
same. Like,
harder. No, it's way
yeah,
harder to win in baseball.
baseball is it is the sport. I think my point that I'm trying to make is like we have seen there is no sport where you can get it done like one player. If there is, it's basketball. Like we've seen like the Raptors had a good roster, but Kawhi was awesome,
Yeah, the Mavericks. Look at the
and he carried
Mavericks
them.
2.5, 3
Dirk
years
was
ago.
awesome,
Yeah,
and it carried
but
them.
even with
Luca was
Luca,
awesome.
even with
Luca
Luca,
was yeah,
yeah,
Luca was awesome and carried them, and they had Kyrie too. But you know, Luca was carrying them. But baseball is the one sport where it's like getting one player in the offseason doesn't get it done for you. And like I think hockey's the same way because hockey and baseball are similar in the aspect of like baseball you come up for one at bat and then you sit for a while. Hockey, you're on the ice for 30 seconds and then you're back off the ice. So you have a very short and small window to make an impact on the game.
yeah.
As whereas like football, you know, football you could be on the field for 30
10
minutes in the
minutes.
game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you could be on the field for most of the game, and that's how you make a big impact. So, yeah,
Well,
I would.
that leads me to my question. Would you? And my roommates asked me this a while ago, or I don't know. I mean, last week. But would you rather? Do you enjoy a great, I'll say, Game 7 baseball game more than a great NFL playoff game?
So it's not the Super Bowl.
No, not the Super Bowl. I'm not counting the Super Bowl. Like a playoff game. I think I enjoy a great
Wait.
playoff baseball game more.
Did you say Game 7 of like?
Well,
Is it like
because
Game Seven?
I mean, an NFL playoff game is Game 7 of an MLB game. It's one and
Yeah.
done.
Oh, I
You
would
know,
say an NFL game,
I don't know, man, because there's
but
been
it's
some
not my
great
team.
Game
It's not my
sevens in the MLB.
team.
It's not my team. I'm not saying the Eagles. I'm not saying the Phillies. Just in general, as
Oh,
a spectator to watch of
oh
another
no.
team.
I would still say an NFL game. Dude, like the question is, uh, Blue Jays dot like take out the like what's a good example of like a game like a good Game 7 like Phillies Diamond like no I just can't remember I can't pinpoint myself to a like this year's Blue Jays Dodgers Game 7 that was a good game, right?
That was phenomenal.
Okay, so say that has the impact of being a World Series game, but like I can I can name off to you some just football playoff games. It seems like every week in the playoffs, there's two of them that are awesome. They're
Yeah.
awesome. Like when the Phillies lost to the Diamondbacks, it was a pretty good game, but I wouldn't say it was like something to remember. Like they're not all like Cubs Indians. Like that was like if you're
Yeah.
asking me Cubs Indians versus a high level NFL playoff game, I'd say Cubs Indian. That game was awesome.
I
But
mean, you're
like
obviously you're gonna see more in the NFL just because
but like
I mean the likelihood of a Game
see
7 happening is. But what
would
do
you
you enjoy
rather
more?
like would you rather see and I'll give you two NFL examples. One includes the Eagles. Eagles Rams in the snow was I think the best football game I ever watched.
Yeah.
I think it was the best football game I ever outside of maybe like you have the Super Bowls that were close and then you have the blowout one, but and then Chiefs Bills where there was like all those points scored
hmm
in that short span. I'm taking that over a baseball game any day.
I don't know. I listen, I love the NFL, I love football, but I don't know. There's something about a close baseball game. And then I'll backtrack. I shouldn't necessarily say Game 7, but a great baseball game. Even the what was it? Mariners versus
I, for me though, like a great baseball game, there needs to be runs. Like I can't sit there
yeah,
and say
watch a 5-4 game.
that one
Yeah.
nothing pitcher's duel, man. That
Yeah. That's not fun to watch.
but like I can sit there and say a football game that was 17-14 If there were sacks and there were turnovers, I could sit there and say that that was awesome.
Yeah.
Baseball, there's got to be runs for me to say that was great. That was a great game. So I think that's kind of what differentiates for me. But I'm a bad example. Like I just don't like baseball that much.
Hmm.
But yeah, Cherry Hill East, 2 playoff games this week.
Yeah. We will be watching on Friday.
Yeah, we'll be well. They've got a tough one. AC's good. I
I
know
don't know how good
DA's.
they
I
are,
know
but
DA's. I know DA's. I'm knowing DA, and if he's watching this, he's not going to be happy that I'm talking about him because he's not going to be happy. But knowing DA, he wouldn't. He would be freaking out over a team like AC.
you don't think he would be?
No, I think he would.
Oh,
Well,
oh, oh.
he's so like he's the most like psychoanalytical person
Well,
that
that's
I've
with every
ever.
game he does. That's what he
Yeah,
does with that
that's
with
what I'm
every
saying.
game. I mean, you told
So
me a while
so
ago that he was panicked about a team that wasn't very good.
where they were like
They
0
had
and
like two
12, and he was
wins.
like, they're good, they're
Yeah.
good, and then they won, but but that's how I guess like for me wanting to go into a coaching space, I think that's how you have to be. Like with anything you do is like you
Well, yeah,
have to have.
you shouldn't let
I
your
think
foot
that's
off
just
the
how
gas with any
I just
team.
think that's how it is in life. Like you just have to be like stuff. Everything should worry you a little bit because you have to. I think you do. I think at least for me, I do my best work when I'm worried because I think I put more care into it. Of like, I got
Well,
to do a good job.
you don't know anything about this, but I'll use the radio example. When Howard Stern was on the come up, every city he went to, he attacked the biggest host because he wasn't necessarily afraid of the host that he was going into, like the territory like John DeBella of Philadelphia. I was talking to DA about this. When he would attack John DeBella relentlessly because Howard Stern wanted to be the best of the best. So, you
Yeah,
know, you look at your quote unquote opponent and whatever you're doing, and you're like, okay, fuck this dude. You gotta, do whatever you gotta
yeah.
do.
But I'm hoping they get it done. It's been I don't know when they last won it.
I think this is the year that they can get it done. I
I
really
do
do.
too. I do
And
too. I think
I hope that they do.
yeah. And yeah,
You know,
I wish
we wish him well.
wish him the best. Yeah. It's
Yeah. I mean,
a
anyways,
fun time. I
you know,
wish I could go, but I'll be watching. I watched the other day. Nice win over Cherokee.
yeah.
It's always tough to have to see a team for a third time. I think if you could have the choice of unless obviously you've kind of have a team's number. But even like last year, they blew out Eastern in the regular season twice and then they played them in the playoffs and it was a much more competitive game. It's just tough to win in the playoffs. You see upsets all the time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, other news coming out of Philadelphia, it seems to be never ending. We can't seem to get out from under this wet blanket, as I like to call it. That is all the AJ Brown news coming out, but
oh yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it. I'm under the impression that they are going to end up trading this guy.
I don't know, man.
Reports are coming out that the asking price is too high, apparently. They want a first round pick. Do I believe he's a first round pick? Worth a first round pick? No, I don't think so at all. I'm also of the believer that based off of what we saw last year with all the drama, I can only assume that it's going to continue next year if this guy's on the team. Whatever the best offer you get is, take it. Take it. If the Patriots, which it seems like they're the number one contender for getting AJ Brown, if the Patriots offer you a second round pick or a early third round pick, take it. Because I don't want to have to deal with if I'm Howie Roseman and I'm Nick Sirianni and I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I don't want to have to deal with all the drama that's going to come along with next year if this guy's on our team.
I I just I haven't put much thought into like what I would want. I just kind of see what I read and I'm like I don't pay it any mind. I'm like because you see one report that's like coming out of the combine, it doesn't seem like there's any vibe that the Eagles are going to trade him. Then you see a report that's like, oh, well, a friend of a friend of a friend said that A.J. Brown definitely wants out. Then you see that
Yeah.
it's like A.J. Brown has a good rapport with certain guys that he kind of wants to stay. So I just see too much to where I'm like, if it happens, it happens. I think Devontae Smith can step up and be a guy. If he does leave, they're going to sign somebody in the offseason who's probably serviceable. So, um, that'll be cool. But like, I can't like, there's so much reporting that comes out that I can't pinpoint if this is going to happen or not. Because every day I feel like I see something new as to like, uh, whether they are or not, they're going to do it or not. So
Well, or I don't know. It's weird because there's more reports coming out about Sean Mannion, which we are yet to hear from. Hasn't had a press conference, nothing. The only coordinator who's been hired who has not had a press conference. So that's a little bit concerning. But we both know coming out of the note, well, now the Thomas Jefferson
whatever.
complex, whatever the fuck. I'm going to continue to call it the Novacare complex. Players are receiving Sean Mannion well.
Yeah,
They
I'm
seem to
not
have good things to say
surprised.
about this guy.
I liked the hire.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
I've warmed up to the hire, I should say, especially with what Saquon had to say about him. Allegedly, they want a bigger role with AJ Brown. On the other hand, they were also saying that AJ or for Devontae Smith, they want a bigger role. On the other hand, though, they were saying that AJ Brown is a big part of Sean Mannion's offense.
Yeah,
So
that's why they hired him. That's part
as
of the
you
reason why they hired him.
as you
So
said, we don't know what's going on inside of the
yeah,
NovaCare complex in regards to AJ Brown. He seems like a well-liked individual. I don't think he likes Sirianni. I think that's flat out. I don't
no,
know how
yeah, I
much.
would
I don't know
agree.
how much he really. I don't know how much he really enjoys playing with Jalen, despite how we feel about the quarterback. So again, I don't know what he's looking for in terms of going to a different team. He's not going to go to a team like the Chiefs. Um,
No,
how much more comfortable can you, even though he went to the Super Bowl, how much more comfortable can you really feel going to the New England Patriots and Drake May being your quarterback? Realistically,
I mean I would
is
feel
it is
good.
it
I
that
think he's good.
I would feel good, but is it that much of a difference between him and Hurts? Really?
As a passer, like yeah, probably,
But
probably.
even still, like
I think Jalen has to be maximized, but I think he's
I think
really
he
good
will
when
be
he's
with
in
this
the
offense.
yeah, I think he's really good when you're maximizing what he does well. But like we've seen, like May's a kind of like a drop back passer where like he's talented enough as a passer that he's going to get the ball in the right places and all that. And I think that's been Jalen's issue is like, when you're asked to be like, okay, just be in a true pro style offense where we're just going to drop you back and pass, we're going to put you under center and you're going to hand the ball off and all this stuff. That's when he struggles of like, okay, now you just read. Opposed to where I think Mannion's offense is going to be unique enough that I think if AJ Brown sticks around, I think he would be very, I think it would be very fortuitous for him. Uh, but again, like we'll see. I mean, there's a lot. Well, the draft is coming up. I mean, the
Yeah,
months are going fast.
soon,
Shit, it's about to be
soon.
75 fucking degrees next week.
Hmm.
Um, but we will see what happens there. And then like what are the dominoes that fall if they do trade him? Is it like does Dallas Goedert become their number one priority? Because if you lose Dallas Goedert, now you're very weak on the pass catching side of the ball. We've seen some reports that like Jalen Phillips is a priority, which I love. I would totally want to see Jalen Phillips back. Extending Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are on the top of their list. That was reported this week.
I mean,
So
I'd like to have Reed back. I'd like to have Reed Blankenship back.
yeah,
As
I
much
saw a
flack
tweet
as
that
we give him, I don't know how comfortable I would be with Makuba back there, along with, you know, God forbid another rookie they draft.
yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people mentioning, you know, CJ Gardner Johnson said like, yeah,
No,
bring me
I, I,
back, bring me
I don't
home,
think that's
whatever.
gonna happen. I don't think
Um,
that's gonna happen.
I don't know if it will or will or won't, but it's kind of like if they lose Reed Blankenship, I'm not gonna be sweating it.
No, but I think out of the four, out of Nakobe, out of Phillips, out of Goddard, and out of Blankenship, I think is the most likely to be back of the
I think he's the
four.
most likely to be back. He's not the most important to me coming
No,
back.
no, but I don't think you really have your options are limited. I don't think Goddard's coming back.
Neither do I. I think the asking
I don't
price is
think
too
they. I
high.
don't. Yeah, I don't think they have the money to sign him. Kobe Dean, I think, is going to be as much as I hate to say it. I think he'll be in Dallas under
I don't
Christian
know.
Parker.
I don't know.
Uh, it would make the if they were to re-sign a Kobe Dean, it would make the Jahad Campbell pick
Kind of
stupid.
useless.
It would
Yeah.
be the dumbest pick. It would be the dumbest pick ever.
Well, they would probably
Um,
try and then just convert him to a full-time edge.
I mean,
If they did that, they probably then wouldn't re-sign Jalen Phillips and they would move Jahad
yeah,
Campbell to edge.
but you
That would
don't know
probably be
what you're
the
going to get from Jahad Campbell at the edge spot as a
yeah.
permanent
I
edge
mean,
rusher.
he didn't
Jalen
have a
Phillips
lot of
is ten
success
times
and
he's
he
ten
didn't have a
times
lot of
better.
success in his
Yeah,
snaps when he did last year. So,
I know.
uh,
They're going to
yeah,
draft the
well,
kicker too. They're not going to,
yeah, that's probably likely.
mhm.
Yeah,
But we'll
they
see. I
will.
don't
I
know.
think they'll draft. I think they had said that Adoree Jackson is an option they are looking at cornerback too, but they are definitely exploring options as a cornerback too. Uh,
I mean, what pick do we have? We have the 31st pick or something like that?
no,
Or no,
20 something.
21st?
No, maybe it could be 21st. Could
I
be
don't know. I might have
21st,
misheard on the
24th.
radio, so I don't
But
know.
they are looking big into offensive tackles. I know they met with almost every top offensive tackle prospect. That's the direction they could go in the first round. I think they have a couple seconds and thirds, so I wouldn't be. They'll draft a cornerback somewhere in there, and if they're ready to play, great. If not, then they will sign a free agent who can play however many games until
I
somebody
mean,
is
there's
ready to
still
go.
Becton. There's still me and my friends are talking. There's still Becton on the market, but I don't think Becton would want to come back here because Stoutland's not here.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
could. Yeah.
so and Becton didn't play that well this year, anyways.
Well, he was just banged up, and I think he does. I think in the right system, he's good. In the right environment, he's good. I think he has a little bit of an attitude problem. I think he's somewhat. He gets. I think he's one of those athletes, and we see this with all levels. Everybody's played with somebody that's like this. That like when they get yelled at, when they get criticism, they just kind of shut down.
Yeah,
And I think that might be him a little bit.
I mean, we'll see. I still think that this team is a top contender for to go back to the Super Bowl. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
I
count this
I,
team
I
out
would agree.
whatsoever,
I
but
agree.
it's a weird off season because you're going
Yeah,
to eat all
it
that money
feels
from
like
the
they need
AJ
a
Brown
lot.
contract,
It
and it
feels like they
sucks.
need a lot. It feels like they need a lot, and there's a big question mark of is this guy who is a superstar, is he going to be here or not?
And
So a
it's an
lot to still
uncomfortable
be
feeling
answered.
with he's just such a hard book to read
Yeah,
because
he's a
when he
diva.
goes on
He's a diva.
when he goes on these podcasts and with the whole wink thing on Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski's podcast, whatever that was, the whole wink thing about the Patriots, I didn't like that. And then he just comes out and says the other thing where he's like, "No, I love being here. I love being in the city of Philadelphia." You know, so we'll see what happens.
I've just stopped reading into um, all that nonsense.
It's all
But
that's being talked about.
yeah, well,
It's literally all it is.
he
I've
has some
literally had
job.
to
If his,
stop list. Well, I've had to stop because it's all they talk about.
yeah,
It's all they talk about. Now, do you want him back?
like if he's
If
back,
you had to
I'm gonna
pick
be.
one or the other, one or the other.
It's more of it's a question of do I, is it worth the risk? Because I could say like we say he for some reason couldn't handle the drama and the intensity after the Super Bowl season and Kellen Moore was coming back. So say
Hmm.
Kellen Moore didn't get a head coaching job and Kellen Moore was our coordinator and AJ Brown wanted it was a question of should they trade AJ Brown that offseason. I would be sitting here like, well, we know what AJ Brown's role is. AJ Brown could be leaving the best situation he could ever end up in the Sean Mannion offense. We just don't know what it's going to look like. Like we don't
Yeah,
know what his role is going to be. So you are taking a major risk of if he's not getting the ball, he's going to be unhappy, he's going to be a drama queen, he's going to be a problem. Do I want the player of AJ Brown still on my team? Of course I do. But there's so much emotional baggage that comes with him being here. But I think the player that he is, I would have to say that they're going to be better with him than without.
yeah. But
But it
I have this example though, and it makes sense in my head. It's like having a 10 out of 10 girlfriend who's so fucking difficult to deal with outside of the bedroom. You got great chemistry in the bedroom. You're fucking. It's awesome. Once that's over and you go out in the real world, you got to deal with this woman. She's a bitch. She's a nagging cunt. Nobody wants to listen to her. Nobody wants to fucking hear her bitch. You got to listen to her. Is it all worth it? Is it all worth it? Now, the play on the field is, but do you want to deal with all of the outside stuff that's going on? And I don't. I don't want to deal with it. Now, I'm a fan, so I'm not really dealing with it, but we got to hear about it.
But the season they won the Super Bowl, it wasn't as bad, but there was noise.
There
There
was
was
noise.
noise.
There wouldn't have been as much noise if it wasn't for Brandon Graham and what he said.
But
That's
it's
another
like
thing.
we've seen that they can deal with it. They can deal with it and put good results on the field.
This was
Listen,
so
was
much
was
more this year, though.
it was so much more, but was he right to complain in a way? Their offense sucked. They sucked.
He was right to complain, but I don't think the way that he carried himself on the field helped his
My
case
biggest
whatsoever.
concern, my biggest question with him is not what he says. It's whether when it's not going great, does he come in the next day and give 100% effort?
I don't
That's
think he
my
did.
biggest
I
question.
don't. I don't think he did all season. Yeah,
If you are evaluating that and you're Howie Roseman, you're Jeffrey Lurie, and you're evaluating that, and you can honestly say to yourself, the guy doesn't give 100% when times are not great, then I think you have to look at it and say, we can't bring this guy back. But if you say, if what the reports are, which the reports are like, he was always working hard, catching extra balls, all that, then I would say if you bring him back. I mean, you're better with him than without. You're losing on his day. You're losing a top seven receiver in the NFL. So those are not easy to come by. So
no, no. But like
you
I said, I don't want to carry all the baggage, which is why I would say let him go. And if he's back, he's back. I've said that 1,000 times.
I think I
You know
think that
he's going
he
to complain though.
yeah, but I think he will be here. That would be my honest final answer as of today. Final prediction. I think he will be here.
I don't think he will, but that's
All right.
that's what creates conversation.
Loser of the week, the 6 seed or the 3 seed loser of the week in the
Brutal.
WIP afternoon caller bracket. What region were you in?
I was in the holla at your boy bracket, I think.
The Holla at Your Boy region. The 3 seed goes down to Ken from where was Ken from?
Cinnaminson.
Ken from Cinnaminson takes down Shy in Westchester. We're not going to read the comments on here, but we recommend that you go find that post and look in the comments section. It was quite funny, but
It was
you
hilarious.
you got beat down bad. It was
Well,
not
I mean,
close.
okay, this is not an excuse, but the masses do what everybody does what everybody else does. Every single 6 seed in that bracket took down the 3 seed. Now, I will say it again. It is not an excuse. It
Do
is
you think
not an
you could have
excuse
done
whatsoever.
more?
So what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
What would
Also,
you ever
by
figure
the
out
way,
if you
by the
like?
way,
Did you ever
what?
figure out if you like win something for winning the whole thing?
I have no idea. I mean, I'll
I'd
probably
imagine
call in
you
at some
do.
point this week. I think so. This is the first time they've ever done it, but I also haven't heard anything about a prize. So
Maybe you
maybe
can win
it's
some like
like
merch.
it might be like you get in the fantasy league or something like that. You get to join like their fantasy league,
That'd be
which would
cool.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Um, or you go on the air or something. I don't know what it is,
Hmm.
but it's bragging rights to whoever that may be. I mean, you guys don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I
You
don't
don't
listen.
care. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I would like to have a job there one day in my
Yeah,
career. So again, I don't think that would help my case if I win caller of the year. But again, I think it's what the masses did. They all wanted to just follow each other and vote out the 3 seed. So I did all that I could. There was I promoted, told everybody to flood the ballot box, but you can only
yeah,
do so much. Couldn't
yeah.
do anything.
And the fact is too, like you're probably one of the younger guys that are on that thing.
I think I'm the youngest.
Like was
I am the
Ken
youngest
like
caller.
Ken, however
Ken's
old
like
Ken may be,
58.
like
Yeah.
Ken's probably going to the bar and is like, "Yeah, vote for me, caller of the year."
Yeah.
And I guess
If
that
he
worked.
does
I
that,
guess
I don't
that
even
worked
know.
better than whatever you did. So
Yeah. There's nice guys. Listen, that night Ken's a nice dude. He's got good calls. I'm not going to
you
sit here
don't
and
know
say
you
like,
don't
oh,
know
this
Ken.
guy was fucking. I mean, based off of what I hear on the air, he was a caller before me on Friday. Actually, he was like, "I wish the best to Shy." I was going to trash on Ken, but he ended up calling before me, so I didn't want to do that. So best of luck to Ken. I'm on the Ken train for him to win.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I voted for I gave one other vote out. He had a funny name.
Furry Bruce,
No, he was in your
Tasty
region.
Cake Dom, Tasty Cake
Tasty
Dom.
Cake Dom. Yeah, I voted for him.
Yeah,
I'm pulling for
he's
him.
cool. He's
Did he
cool. I
win?
would like to see. I think he won. Yeah, I think Justin in Tennessee is going to win the entire thing, though. He's by far the best caller that they have.
No.
Good takes. He doesn't spout bullshit. He's from the
Well, your
South, so
show has Hank Longerbeam from Sapphire,
he's
Tennessee.
literally like Hank Longerbeam.
Yeah.
He's the same way. Same way.
Yeah. So
So what's the outfit today? What are you going for?
so I've got
You trying to blend in?
Nike sweats, Hollister hoodie, and then just Hanes tee, Hanes beater. Yeah. My beaters actually can barely breathe. I'm a chud, so yeah. But this weight's all coming off. By Memorial Day, I'll be ripped and yeah. So
Okay, well we'll see about that.
what about your fit? 5 days rest
Me?
for that quarter zip.
Well, I haven't worn this in 5 days, and I mean, a lot of my sweatshirts are just black or gray. Don't really have a
How
lot
many
of
hoodies
colors
do
to
you
work with.
have?
Let me count. Hold on.
Let me count.
I've got like three on the couch or on the sofa over there. I've got like three in the wash or my laundry here. Uh, what's that? Seven, eight. I think I've got like nine hoodies here, and I've got one downstairs. But again,
Wow.
like
Wowzers.
you
Wowzers.
know, how many do you have?
35, 40.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean,
But like
nobody
if
needs that many hoodies.
no, but if you just like I don't how quickly do you give clothes away or donate or throw out? Like how
Well,
quickly
I mean, my senior year, I had to give away all my clothes because I gained 45 pounds. I couldn't fit in my
like
clothes anymore.
those hoodies back there in that laundry basket right there, those are donate slash my mom like put stuff on Poshmark or one of the
Yeah, like I mean,
selling sites.
but again, I'm the type, and you listen, you guys clown on me, but everybody fucking does it. I got a rotation of sweatshirts. I do my laundry every 3 days, every 2 days.
I put it
So,
on based on
and
putting a fit together.
they end up just coming together. It goes back to the top of the pecking order of
See,
what I choose to wear that day.
I've just got too many like listen, I've got some expensive hoodies. I've got see like but I spend a lot of money. Like that's my
Yeah,
hobby. I spend a lot of money on fashion.
I don't do that shit. So yeah,
I've got probably 9, 10 hoodies that are over $100.
yeah, I don't
So
see. I just never. I mean, listen, I see why people like to do it. I just don't see the point. I see the point in spending money on nice clothes, which I have, but again, I rarely ever wear them. Where am I going to
see
wear them to?
my nice clothes though, like I've almost gotten to the point with my nice clothes. I don't buy stuff that I don't buy stuff that's shitty, but like, bro, you can go to Target and put a nice
Not
outfit
yeah,
together, and it's
yeah.
cheap. Like I
Again,
don't
yeah,
need like when I buy jeans, like I'll go to like an American Eagle, a Levi's, like somewhere like that. Like I feel like jeans are like you could tell if jeans are bad quality. Like you gotta have at least I'd say two pairs nice jeans, maybe one in black, one in blue. Um,
I mean, I have a pair of light blue jeans that I
Yeah,
throw
I've
in the
got
wash every time.
one light blue and one black is what I've got.
So what do you
But
do? Like,
then
what? How many days do you wear a sweatshirt before you wash it? Not in a row, just like how many times do you wear a sweatshirt before you wash it?
2, 3 times.
Yeah. See, I'm the same way. That's why it ends up in a
But but
rotation.
but for me, it's like this hoodie. I probably haven't worn this hoodie in 2, 3 weeks between
Yeah.
wears. My black hoodies honestly get worn a little bit more because with the dogs and the shedding ends up with hair on it. And do I
I got
want
a
to go through
bulldog. Yeah.
do I want to go through the stress of the lint roller or do I want to just wash it?
Well, it's not even that. It's not even just the hair. You could get the hair off. It still smells like a dog.
I mean, yeah, they
Like,
all do. But if I'm like if I really care, like if I really care and I'm going out, trust me. If I put something on and it smelled like shit, I'm taking it right off and putting it in the
yeah,
wash.
yeah.
So, um,
I'm not
but yeah,
saying like if
I
you go to the
used to
bar or
be
something and it smells
yeah.
like
Oh
beer,
yeah,
I'm not gonna leave it.
yeah.
I'm gonna throw it right in the wash.
I used to though. I used to wash my stuff after everywhere. Now I've kind of become like, okay, If
It
I'm
destroys your
because like
clothes.
I'm sitting here right now, like, you know, I don't know if you have the same issue of like when you're sitting in one place for so long, like you start to get like a little sweat, like you feel like sweaty, your body feels hot.
I'm sweating now.
Yeah. I used to be like, okay, if I sweat at all, it's got to get washed. But now I'm like, well, there's a shirt and a tank
Yeah.
top that are you know, if any sweat's
Yeah.
getting through, then I really got a bigger issue.
Well, the
So,
only time it'll be a one wear scenario is if I'm like playing basketball and it's the winter time and I'm putting my
yeah.
pants back
Oh,
on
yeah,
and my
yeah.
sweatshirt back on and I can feel the wetness like
Yeah.
all over my body. Then I'm gonna throw it in the wash.
Do you wash your sweatpants after every wear?
If I'm not doing anything that whole day and I like just went to the store or something, no, I'm not throwing them in
Yeah,
the wash.
I've
I'll fold them
started.
back up
I
and I'll
do
put them
that too.
away. If I'm at the gym, it's weird because if I'm at the gym and I don't sweat through my pants, I will wash them anyways, just because I'm at, the gym. I
Hmm.
just like it feels disgusting. Um, but like I'm a big shirt rotation guy. You can tell on the pod. You could probably look at every episode on the pod. I've probably worn this Metallica shirt 7 different times out of the 14 episodes. It just so happens that I'm wearing the same five fucking shirts
I'd
and they
say like
just
I
get washed every
wear.
3 days.
See, I think what's different. It well, I don't want to say that necessarily, but like I I have shirts for specific. So I have two shirt drawers. I have one shirt drawer that's temple long. It's separated into three: temple long sleeves, temple short sleeves, Nike short sleeves that are just like I've got a lot over the years. I've accumulated like Sixers jersey T-shirts,
Yeah.
Eagles shirts that are Nike, like so those. Then I have a separate T-shirt drawer with like maybe 15 to 20 T-shirts that are all just graphic tees from different websites. So my thing is that graphic T-shirt drawer, like if I'm going to play basketball, like I've seen you, you know, play basketball in the Slipknot shirt,
Yeah.
and then go out somewhere else and you're wearing the Slipknot shirt again.
It won't be same day, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, my thing
Yeah.
is if I'm going to the gym to play basketball, I will be in a Nike t-shirt of some sort. If I'm then going out later to you know, hang out somewhere else, I'll probably be in just a graphic tee. Like I
Yeah.
could also be in a Nike tee, but I separate those shirts out as like, okay, I have my nice shirts to go out in. So those are just like plain tees. Then I have my graphic tees that I might like put a nicer fit together, like a nicer calm casual fit. And then I have my workout tees and like my basketball tees. So I just have a lot of
I don't
stuff.
know.
Like I just collect clothes. I have a lot of stuff.
To me, it's just clothes. I mean, the bitches
Yeah.
jack me no matter what I wear. So, I mean,
Well, well,
dude, they do.
okay. I think they jack your bitches too.
Yo. Whoa.
Episode 14. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.